Welcome to Jumbo Safari Media. You are watching Jumbo News Global Recap. Let's take a look at what's happening throughout the week in different parts of the world. We begin in Gaza, where recent Israeli airstrikes tragically led to the deaths of at least 59 Palestinians. This escalation came in response to a significant barrage of rocket attacks by Hamas, which fired 10 rockets into Israel. The situation remains tense, with both sides suffering losses and a humanitarian crisis unfolding as civilians bear the brunt of the conflict. In a related development, the Palestinian Red Crescent Society urgently called for an independent international inquiry into the killing of 15 emergency workers during an Israeli assault. This plea follows the release of a haunting video from one of the paramedics, which contradicts initial Israeli claims that the workers were linked to armed groups. The footage shows the paramedics using their emergency lights, raising serious concerns about whether they were deliberately targeted. The organization's president has dismissed the Israeli military's internal investigation, demanding justice for those who sacrificed their lives to save others. Turning now to the United States, a series of severe storms has swept across multiple states, claiming at least 22 lives. The most significant damage has been reported in Tennessee, where flash flooding and tornadoes have wreaked havoc on communities. Tragically, a 9-year-old boy was swept away by flood waters while heading to his school bus stop, and a volunteer firefighter lost his life while attempting to rescue others. The National Weather Service has issued warnings that many areas are expected to reach major flood stage, with nearly 9 million Americans currently under flood watch. As the storm system moves eastwards, cities like Frankfort, Kentucky are struggling with swollen rivers and mandatory evacuations. Residents describe the relentless rain as unprecedented, fearing further disasters. Meanwhile, in Kinshasa, the capital of Democratic Republic of Congo, torrential rains have caused devastating flooding, resulting in at least 33 deaths. President Felix Tshisekedi has pledged support to the victims and called for a government crisis meeting. Many residents are desperately trying to escape the rising waters, using makeshift canoes or wading through waist-deep floods. Frustration is growing over the slow response from authorities and the lack of adequate infrastructure to prevent such disasters, as approximately half of the city's districts have been severely affected. Shifting gears to China, the ongoing trade war with the United States is escalating dramatically. President Trump has threatened to nearly double tariffs on Chinese imports, potentially reaching an astonishing 104%. In a fierce response, China has vowed to fight to the end, implementing its own retaliation tariffs of up to 34%. Experts warn that this trade standoff could lead to long-term economic pain for both nations. China's economy is already facing challenges with rising unemployment and declining consumer spending since 2024. The US imported $438 billion worth of goods from China, underscoring the deep interconnection between their economies. In the United States, billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman has issued a stark warning regarding the potential fallout from these tariffs. He cautioned that they could lead to a self-induced economic nuclear winter, urging the president to pause their implementation for 3 months to facilitate renegotiations with trading partners. The sentiment was echoed by financial leaders, including JP Morgan Chase chairman Jamie Dimon, who expressed concerns about rising consumer prices and inflation. Despite these warnings, the White House has rejected any rumors of pausing the tariffs, maintaining that they are essential for economic growth. Now let's turn to Nigeria, where a significant development has unfolded involving traditional leaders, the Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi, who was initially summoned by police for questioning following a violent incident during a post-Eid celebration that left one person dead. This action sparked widespread backlash as many Nigerians viewed it as a disrespect to an important cultural figure. In response to public outcry, police retracted their summons and announced they would instead travel to Kano to interview Sanusi. Traditional leaders like him hold considerable. The situation highlights the ongoing tensions between government authorities and traditional institutions in the country. In the United States, a judge has ordered the Trump administration to restore access for Associated Press journalists to presidential events, ruling that the White House ban violated the First Amendment. This dispute arose when the AP refused to adopt the administration renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Judge Trevor McFadden underscored that the government cannot exclude journalists based on their viewpoints. Following the ruling, the AP expressed satisfaction, although reports indicate that 2 journalists were still denied access to a Trump event. On Monday, President Trump held a significant meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss critical issues affecting both nations. The agenda included concerns about Iran's nuclear ambitions, the impact of newly imposed tariffs on global trade, and the situation of Israeli hostages held by Hamas. Notably, Netanyahu was the first world leader to visit the White House following Trump's announcement of tariffs earlier this month. This meeting underscores the strengthening of US-Israel relations amid ongoing geopolitical challenges. Thank you for joining us today on Jumbo News Global Recap. That's what we had for the week. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment.